Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. I'm in our 942 Fendt here, getting the land prepped for corn planting. As you can see, this is not our disc pulling behind us here. It's our neighbors, Tyson and Dan, Salford. They usually do the land prep for us. They're not quite to us yet. But our disc is broke down. If you guys were watching the last few videos, broke one of the packing rollers, and there was some kind of miscommunication between parts and service, because service was under the impression that we were going to have a new roller, a new packer the next day or the following day, and now it sounds like they don't even have one anywhere to be able to ship out to our dealer. So talked to Tyson about it, and he one of his guys just dropped this Salford off here so that we can get started on this. I think he's pretty much caught up on corn planting. He's just got our corn left to plant. They're working on soybeans. I think in the next day or so they'll be coming this way also with a field cultivator. And then we'll be able to go with two machines to get the land prep done a little bit more quickly. This implement works a little bit different than our disc. This is, we'll get out at some point here, but I'd like to get started and get some acres done. But essentially, you're trying to do the same job, trying to prepare the seed bed for corn planting. But this is basically straight wavy blades. They're not disturbing the soil a whole lot, just enough to kind of loosen up the top couple inches, where our horse Joker does a little bit more tillage, I guess, if you want to, probably the best way to put it. I was a little bit concerned. Our Joker is 25 or 26 feet wide, and this thing is 40. So I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to pull this disc. It's, you definitely could feel it back there, but just the way it's set up, it doesn't pull as hard as our disc does. So far it's going alright. Tyson said they usually run this thing at 9.5 miles an hour. They have big John Deere 4-wheel drive tractors. I tried 9.5, but that was pushing it a little bit. Where if it was dry, good conditions, all across the field, it'd be fine. But if you get into a little bit of a spot where it's a little bit damp, then it's asking too much of this tractor. So I'm running at 8.5 now. That seems to be going pretty good. Able to keep tractor's able to keep up the speed at that speed. A little bit of a wet spot here, a little damp. That was alright. The field that we're working on here, we're just south of the dairy. This we're actually supposed to put manure on this piece that I'm on right now, but we didn't put any on here because the custom manure crew, they blew their tractor up, and their other machine was on another job. It sounded like possibly had some issues going on as well, but it's probably going to be a week or so before they have a replacement tractor. So we thought, well, there's probably a little over 200 acres that should have had manure on it that didn't. So I guess I made the decision to just go ahead and start prepping this for planting, and then we'll come back and apply some nitrogen here in a few weeks or a month, whenever the corn's out of the ground already. We'll just come by and side dress it. We've never done that before, but didn't really want to wait another week for a tractor, then put manure on, and then have to wait another 5 days for the manure to dry out. And we're with perfect weather, then we're 14 days further out before we get the corn planted. So I didn't think it made sense to wait for that. Wasn't like it was the whole field. So that's where we started. The The acres that didn't get manure put on them, they're the driest. And I think by the time we get done with these 200 some acres, what we did put manure on, I think will be dry enough to go also. That should be in pretty good shape. I think it'd probably go today if we wanted to push it. I actually wanted to, originally the plan was to start on the fields that have rye on them, the rye cover crop. But this disc is not quite aggressive enough to work that rye under, so my plan was to start on that with our disc, because our disc is more aggressive than this. It does turn the soil a little more, but kind of change things up. So Tyson and Dan's somebody from the farm, I don't know, likely probably won't be Tyson, but one of their hired hands is probably going to come with the field cultivator here in the next day or two, and then they're going to get started on that, because I'd like to get that rye worked under some. Probably we'll have to come back and spray it sooner anyways, but if we hit it with this, then we'll have to spray it right after planting, because the rye is getting quite tall now. It's good 10 to 12 inches tall. So I'd like to get that worked in somewhat better, so we don't have a problem with that rye here at planting. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, like I said, at some point I'll get out here and take a look and show you guys what we're doing exactly, what the disc is doing, and if I can, I'll try to get my drone up too. My plan is to show Sam how to run this thing. It's not a whole lot to it, just kind of pay attention to what you're doing, I guess. Yeah, show Sam how to run this thing, then he can run it for a little bit tonight, and tomorrow morning I need to take Ian and Eli to daycare. So I can run it in the morning, and then when I have to go get Ian and Eli when Taryn goes to work, then Sam can run it for an hour or two. So we can kind of keep going here. Weather looks like it's pretty good, a little chance of rain tonight, but hopefully that doesn't materialize, but we'll just see. Going pretty good so far. This thing does looks like it's doing a pretty good job. So this is typically what we prep our land with in the spring, but depending on how the spring goes, Tyson will use this, and then we'll use our own disc just to kind of speed things up a little bit. Like I was saying before, I was kind of worried about their tractor being undersized, but by slowing down just a little bit, it seems to be going fine. Still doing a good job. The tractor seems to be handling it pretty well, going just a mile an hour slower. Definitely, if we were ever to purchase an implement like this or something similar, probably go 5 feet smaller or whatever the increments are of the sizes they have, but for this situation, definitely work. Do want to stay away from any real wet spots though, because I have a feeling probably not going to take me too much to get stuck if I get caught in the wrong place. Haven't had that problem yet, but there's still a few spots. A lot of the spots with water are starting to dry out, but there's still spots with water in them. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. It's been really dry and windy here the last 3-4 days. You kind of get a crust, dry crust on the top, and sometimes it's still a little bit wet underneath. It can be a little bit deceiving sometimes. Putting new lights in the parlor and holding area here. We've got all of them besides these 3 right above the parlor pit here. Not quite sure how they're going to get to these yet. Too tall for a ladder. They're going to try to come in through the front door here with their lift. They've got a pretty small lift. I think it'll be tight. It's going to be close if it's going to work or not. We're also planting corn at the moment. Not sure where I'm going to put this video, but I thought I'd just show you guys this quickly. We're trying LEDs in the parlor here. All of our other lights are 480 volt with a bulb. Swapping these out, trying LEDs, and we'll see what the rave is about. Went pretty quickly actually, because the only time they can really work on this is at lunchtime when we're not milking. About an hour or so. They got all of these in the holding area and 6 in the parlor, and now we just have the 3 left essentially. I didn't get much of a chance to film the Salford with the drone. By the time I got over there, Sam was done with the last field. He just started with the cultivator across the road on the field that we put manure on that had rye on it. And that's the field I'm on right now here actually. They thought it was a little bit wet yet with the cultivator, or at least it felt wet. So I'm gonna go around the outsides a few times and around some of the low spots, try to get them to dry out a little bit more, but it's kind of hard to tell. But it went out a couple times. It doesn't really seem like it's wet. It almost seems like it's more soft than wet. So I don't know. We've only farmed this piece of ground for a few years. I don't know if we need to get more solid manure on here to give this soil some structure or what the deal is. But seems like it's going pretty good, so we're just gonna, yeah, like I said, go around some of the wet spots. I don't want to end up drying this field out way too much, and then they're gonna come back. They went to another field with the cultivator. They're gonna come back either this afternoon or tomorrow, try it again. Tyson's been planting all day. It seems to be going pretty good. Hopefully I'd like to get some filming of that also if I have time, but we'll see how the days, next couple days go here. I like sitting in the tractor for a little while, but definitely wouldn't want to do this all day. It's not for me. So I'm glad that Sam likes to do this job. A lot of times I just get the field started or kind of show him where he needs to be, and then let him take over from there. Then he can go back and forth on the field all day. This is where he went with the field cultivator. I don't know, looking at it myself, I mean, there's moisture down below, but right on top here, this looks pretty good. Looks like it's doing a good job. So we put manure on here probably, well, it's probably been a week now, just about 7 days. There goes Sam. Looks like the rye is about, yeah, not quite a foot tall. Does feel soft even walking out here, but this was just worked up. I don't know how it is over here. doesn't feel bad to me. I don't know. We'll go around the wet spots, get those to dry out a little bit more, and hopefully they can get back out here and get this field done also, so we can get some corn planted here. I think I'll end this video here. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have questions, comments, post them down below. Hopefully we'll see you in the next video. I did see a neighbor of ours is working up his field here just south of the dairy. That's going to be earlage for us. And he has a, I'm not sure what the model number is, but it's a Fendt 2-track. I think a 1162 or 1167, I don't know. The biggest one they make anyways. So I thought if I have time here, I'm gonna run over there and fly my drone and see how that tractor's working. That's a big machine, a lot of horsepower. So maybe we'll end the video with a few shots of that here if I get time here to run over there. Anyways, yeah, appreciate you guys watching.